everybody, Journo's back here at the Newcastle United Media Centre, where we have not been speaking to Eddie Howe this morning. Just driving in, get the message through. Eddie Howe's press conference has been cancelled. Would you like to explain why, Jordan?
Would I like to explain why? Well,
everyone will know by now.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. Yeah, I was sat in my car. I thought I'd sit in my car for 5 to 10 minutes. Came in the media centre about 8:30. Have the press officer, LA Marshall. Game's cancelled, Jordan. I was like, really? No, seriously, really, it really is. The situation developed quite quickly. The expectation is that it was going to be called off. We were waiting AFL confirmation, and that arrived about an hour later. Reason why it has been called off is flooding around the vicinity of Plough Lane, and if you guys are on social media, you will see that there seems to be a sinkhole.
Yes, what's been described as a sinkhole.
It looks like a sinkhole.
And that's not good. I mean, at the end of the day, Wimbledon are a League 2 club, so things like this, freak things like this can happen, but then it's when do you get the pitch in a playable condition? Because Newcastle, if that happened, they'd have people round the clock, like literally full-time staff members. Wimbledon, they're going to have to somehow get this playable because they've got League 2 games coming up at Plough Lane.
I mean, that sinkhole, I don't think that pitch will be ready next night. Never mind Saturday. That's the thing. So, try and go through the AFL rules. Basically, you've got to play the game as quickly or at the earliest possible opportunity is what they say. The possibility of a neutral venue is in there, which is fine, but then you look at Wimbledon's fixtures and they've got a game Saturday, which we'll have to wait and see what happens there, and they've got a game Tuesday as well, both meant to be played at Plough Lane. So if the ground isn't ready, even if the ground wasn't ready, then Newcastle are in a position where they could maybe play next week. Well, no, Wimbledon have got a game where they're in League 2 action, so there might have to be a bit of moving around, if you like, where the AFL might have to prioritise the Carabao Cup game and Newcastle play it next week. This is all speculation, we don't actually know this, but what has to be the case is that it has to be played at the earliest possible opportunity, or Newcastle United could, in theory, get a bye. But as I say, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that would be a boost for Newcastle, but not the way they would have wanted to get through. You see that draw against Wimbledon and you go, it's a winnable game, obviously, League 2 club, but also an opportunity for the lesser spotted players or lesser used players to get a good run out. And yeah, so it's a tricky situation because Newcastle obviously have the international break to contend with. League 2 football continues during the international break, so Wimbledon could also pose an argument where we can play the fixture during the international break.
I think Newcastle will be in their right mind to say no to that, because
it's full strength argument as well, which you have to play full strength.
But then you look at League 1 side, sometimes they get games called off during the international break.
They're allowed to.
Obviously the Championship's off, Premier League's off, so I think Newcastle will be well fed. Right, if they've got say 7 to 10 internationals away, then that's you're saying that's pretty much a full start 11. And I mean, if you look at the team, they probably could rotate enough to play the game, but then why should they? I mean, at the end of the day,
it's not their fault.
At the end of the day,
it's not Wimbledon's either, but it's
okay. Wimbledon are a League 2 team, but this is a game that Newcastle must win, and the Carabao Cup is a very, very important competition for them. So in terms of the international break for you, Newcastle, I'd imagine would be in their right mind to say no. And if I was Newcastle, I'd say no as well. There's no point doing Wimbledon any favours. But it's a bit of a it's caught me by surprise when I was driving into
I was driving with
trying to compose myself for camera
with a friend of the channel, Craig Hope, who's over there, and he was like, oh god, he thought it was something a bit more serious than a postponement.
When you see Eddie Howe press conference cancelled,
what's happened? I nearly swerved the car through it, but a bit less dramatic than that. But I question when this game can be played and whether a bye is a real possibility. St James's Park, I don't know the rules on that. The EFL rules don't mention home. It's more stress is on neutral venue, which I think would be the preferred. But speaking to some of the lads at Newcastle, both mentioned St James's Park as a possibility, but there's a bit of uncertainty there whether Wimbledon would agree to it, whether some sort of ticketing arrangement where Wimbledon would keep maybe the majority of the revenue from that. So they're more open to that idea. It's whatever can be rearranged. It just has to take place at the earliest possible opportunity. And the fourth round will take place the week commencing the 28th of October. So the clubs have pretty much a month to...
Is that the cut-off point, is it?
Well, ideally, there's obviously in extenuating circumstances you could potentially play that week, but then you're a week behind if you progress. Either way, Newcastle and Wimbledon will be in the hat for the fourth round, so they'll know who.
When's the draw? Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday night after Liverpool and West Ham play. So yeah, it'll be interesting. You've got Wimbledon coming up, and then you get drawn Newcastle's luck away to Man City or something like that, and then you go.
And then Newcastle just forfeit the Wimbledon game.
Wimbledon, you go through. Go on. No, they'll never do that. But yeah, it's an awkward one. We were planning on going down. We were planning for a very busy week, but now it's a full week to prepare for Manchester City. So a blessing in disguise in some ways for Newcastle, where they can fully focus and not have a disrupted week, whereas Manchester City will have.
Yeah, because Man City, they actually play Tuesday, don't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'll be a fully rotated Manchester City team, won't it?
Yeah.
Playing Watford, is it? Watford. Yeah, I seen that yesterday. Because usually when you play on a Sunday, you play a Wednesday game. But I think by the sounds of it, for Man City, you play Tuesday or you play Thursday. And Man City said, well, we want to play Tuesday because we need extra time to play against Newcastle. And yeah, I'd imagine it'll be a second string Man City. Will probably still be a strong side, but it'll be most of the start 11, if not all the start 11, will be rested ahead of that game against Newcastle. But yeah, you're right. Newcastle have a full week to prepare, and they've got a lot.
They've got a lot to put right.
They've got a lot to work on, as we spoke on the video on Saturday. The team isn't functioning very well. Formations, whatever, personnel, even players aren't performing very well. So it needs to be a big week on the training pitch if they get something against Man City. If not, and they continue to play in the way they have in the opening 5 games, then they probably are.
It's going to be a tough afternoon.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Newcastle always seem to give Manchester City games at
St James's
Park. Yeah, they do. Never quite. Well, they got that draw. Kieran Trippier's free kick, that
2 goals up,
but they always seem to get near them. But with the exception of that, with that draw, they've never really got near Man. They get near Man City, but don't get the result.
Yes.
Apart from that draw
against them in January, they put up a really good performance in the midst of actually not playing well at the time.
Tuesday
and they really turned up, and it was a very encouraging performance. They ultimately conceded in stoppage time, lost the game, but they were winning. I think at half time, weren't they? Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isak. But this is a game where Newcastle need those players to turn up. The Anthony Gordons, the Alexander Isaks, your Brunos, players whose performances at Fulham were rightly questioned, I thought. So this is a big game for Newcastle. We'll obviously be addressing it in a little bit more depth when we'll speak to Eddie Howe, hopefully, on Friday. We're told we'll see you Friday. Which is a good sign. That game's going ahead.
Yeah, see you Friday. Maybe it's a sort of passing comment, but it probably suggests that the game won't be played. The Carabao Cup tie won't be played this week. It's too quick of a turnaround for even probably a neutral venue
and even fans. You've got to think about fans.
Exactly. Yeah, but even on about St James's Park, you probably apply the St James's Park theory to neutral venues, where if Newcastle want to go and play at St James's Park this week without planning for it, you need to go and get security, sell tickets, loads of different
logistically
things.
Almost impossible. Yeah.
And the fans is a big thing, because they could theoretically probably play behind closed doors, but you've sold tickets for this match, so the fans that have bought tickets should be able to see the game. So, but we don't know how it's going to play out. Sure, the AFL and Wimbledon, Newcastle, I'm sure more meetings are planned to figure out what to do.
Do you think the tie will happen? Obviously, this video is very, very time sensitive, and we'll try and get it out as soon as possible. But looking at the fixtures, do you think this tie will actually happen?
I mean, again, speculating, but I'd imagine they might be in position next week where the game against Crewe is cancelled. AFC Wimbledon's game against Crewe on Tuesday, and then they put Newcastle in because
at a neutral.
The Carabao Cup and the League 2 is the same. It's AFL, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're their
So
jurisdiction.
AFL won't want to see the tie.
They want to
postponed
protect
out
the
of-
integrity of their competition.
So that
main
would be my guess. That would be my guess that this
Yeah, I
game
think
gets
that's
played in a week time, and that could be a neutral venue because, as I say, looking at that AFC Wimbledon pitch today, that sinkhole
not happening.
looks like it might take
a
a while to repair.
More than just a bit of sand in there.
You could just fill it
poking a hole.
with sand. Why not?
I don't think Eddie Howe will be happy about
No.
Jacob Murphy or Anthony Gordon, whoever's playing on the right wing, having to run over sand every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So-
But if it gets a game on, sure.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
yeah.
I'm joking.
So yeah, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. But do you want to wrap up there? It has to be a shorter one.
Yeah,
'cause there's ultimately nothing. What would
Yeah.
you have asked Eddie Howe today?
I would want to know about Willis Sula. That's what I would have asked about.
Yeah.
I probably would have asked if he knows his best team yet, which follows on from our discussion.
Probably not.
Probably not, no. And maybe what Newcastle's identity is this season after, because we spoke about, I think I used the words identity crisis.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not really sure what Newcastle are striving to be at this moment in time in terms of style of play, so that would have probably been my 2 or 3 questions, but we'll see what I come up with on Friday. I might have changed my mind by Friday because so soon after a defeat,
We
it's
only
quite-
spoke to Eddie Howe on Saturday.
yeah, I mean it's quite. You probably still have your obviously you have your immediate thoughts of what happened on Saturday, and you have them questions of mine on the back of Saturday. But many people might have forgot about Saturday by the time Man City comes around on Friday, so that may be reflected in my Friday questions. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. So we'll have an update coming out later today. So we'll do another video later today where we'll be joined by Liam, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's to come. Announcement that we've been teasing the past few videos.
Yes, I forgot about that. It is big. Sorry, but there's so much going on. Much going on.
Yeah. So we'll have that to come. So stay tuned. Ring the bell, obviously, and you'll get that straight into your notifications. And yeah, if you like what we do, please to remember to like, comment, share, subscribe for all your latest Geordie Journals content. We won't be at Wimbledon tomorrow night, but me and Jordan will be definitely back here on Friday morning for the pre-Manchester City press conference. And T's and C's, Jordan, 4 Rivers Financial Planning.
Holistic financial
Needs.
advice and
Yes.
needs. Yes, so please do check them out. And of course, have you done the like?
Yeah. We're all sorted there. So yeah, quick update from the Newcastle United Media Centre and Whitley Park. So more to come, I'm sure, in the coming days, weeks. Hopefully the game will be on at some point, and Newcastle, either way, we'll find out who they may be playing in the 4th round later this week. So that's something to talk about as well. But yeah, stay tuned for the Geordie Journals for further updates, and we'll see you back here on Friday.